Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Chairman Bernanke, for being here today. I was reading your testimony, and thank you for giving it, and especially on page 7 and 8. On page 7, you talked about the sequestration and the impact of the sequestration and your concerns about that impact currently on the short term and the economic drag that that could bring about. And then on page 8, you talked about the fact that at some point down the road, we have to deal with our current debt and our current overspending. And so, and you had also said in your comments before us that we need to align our solutions with the problem. Meaning, I take it that the spending reduction shouldn't happen today. They should wait until tomorrow when we really start to have problems. So is that how you would quantify that, yes or no?
I didn't say we have to get rid of the spending cuts today, but just more gradual introduction.
Right, okay.
And combined with longer-term measures.
So let me ask just some very quick kind of technical answers is what I'm looking for. What was the United States deficit last year?
I have it right here. It was $1.09 trillion.
$1.09 trillion. And what was our total national debt for last year? Or currently, what's our current?
About 11 trillion.
And what is our current total national debt this year?
It's currently about, I think, about 11.5 trillion. I have to check. It's about
not 16.5 trillion.
That includes the 16 trillion includes intragovernmental debt, like the Social Security Trust Fund, but debt held by the public, as opposed to debt held between different parts of the government, is about 11.5 trillion. So
you're saying that the debt is 11.5 trillion, and what are the unfunded net liabilities?
They're very large. Particularly in the Medicare area. I don't have a number, but they're probably some greater than the actual official debt held by the public.
And how much debt do we buy every day from the Treasury, from the Federal Reserve?
Every day, about $1.5 billion.
About $1.5 billion. So is it true that without the Fed purchases of our debt from the Treasury, would we be able to continue the spending level without that?
Yeah, you could. As I said before, the Fed only owns about 15% of the outstanding U.S. government debt.
Where would we go? If we didn't have the Fed buying that debt, where would we go?
Our debt is in great demand. Foreigners hold about half of it. People think of U.S. Treasury debt as a safe haven, as a secure investment, and that's why notwithstanding what the Fed is doing, that's why we can sell it at low interest rates.
So the Fed wouldn't need to be buying all these treasuries then. We could find other buyers for our debt. Is that true?
Yes.
So then why are we doing it?
To keep rates a little bit lower, to help support housing, automobiles, and other parts of the economy that need more support.
But if there's other buyers, why the Fed?
To get rates a little bit lower than they otherwise would be.
So if my 18-year-old daughter was spending 40% more than what my husband and I were giving her, and she didn't do that just this month, but she did it next month and the next month and the next month. And finally, my husband and I said, we're just not going to bail you out anymore. We're just not going to continue to finance that overspending that you're doing. And she said to me, Mother, we need to align our solution with the problem. In other words, you need to keep giving me that money because it's really not a problem yet. I would say, I think you have a problem today. And the reason why I would say that is because the analogy with the federal government, in January of 2007, our debt was $8.67 trillion. That debt today is closer to $16.5 trillion with the intra-government debt, according to your calculation. Do you think that's a problem? That in 6 years we've gone from $8.6 trillion to $16.5 trillion?
Certainly it's a problem, and that's why I think it's important to have measures to bring it down over time.
But you said we need to align the solution with the problem. It seems to me we've got a big problem, and I'll tell you why. When I was home this last week and talking to a lot of women, they were telling me, I don't get this. Gasoline at Christmas time was $2.99 a gallon. Now it's $4 a gallon. They said, I can't keep up with the price increases at the grocery store. And we just got our health insurance premium, and it's going to be $300 a month more than what it was. And so all I want to say, Mr. Chairman, is that what I'm hearing from people is that they are having to deal with the inflationary pressure.
Time of the gentlelady.